I'm a paranormal investigator who resides in the Los Angeles area. On June 21st, 2019, I received a call from a very good friend of mine telling me that he wanted to go on a road trip. I said, sure, I'm definitely down for that. In the next couple of hours, we were ready with everything packed and ready to go. I took off, we met and started loading everything else in the car, stopped for some snacks, water, and gas. We were super excited to see where this road trip would take us to. We drove and drove and drove, making stops to take videos and photos of such beautiful scenic views that we had along the way. After about 13 hours, we were kind of tired of sitting in the car, so we decided to stop somewhere and camp for the first night. The following day, we woke up super early because it was really cold. We weren't able to get any more rest, so we decided to pack everything back up and take off again. After a few hours, my friend tells me that he found a nice touristic spot where we could take videos with our drones. Judging by the pictures he showed me, I didn't even care how far away this place was. It just made me want to go so bad that I could get videos of my own. He then told me that the place was deep in a forest in southeast Oregon. It would take us a few hours to get there because the car that we were driving wasn't exactly a 4x4. And on top of that, it was at least 3 miles away from the nearest parking area we could find. We finally got there sometime later. There it was, an extremely hot day. We took our cell phones, one flashlight, drones, tons of water, and, well, nothing else. I checked the clock, and it was about 3:25 p.m. We looked at each other reassuringly, saying, "Don't worry, we'll get back before it gets dark." We walked and walked for a couple of hours, walking across hundreds of trees and bushes. But then, there it was. We finally reached our destination. By this point, our phones had totally lost reception. It was starting to creep up to 6 p.m., but nothing was going to stop us from filming at this point. We had already gone this far. That whole 3-hour walk would have been for nothing if we just turned around, so we were determined to take a few pictures and then leave. After all, nothing was going to happen, it would just take a little while. So we started preparing our drones and took a few videos. That's it, we got what we wanted. At around 8:20 p.m., I looked at my phone and suddenly realized just how late it had gotten. At this point, I'll admit I started to get a little bit worried, so I went running after my friend. You see, we had ended up splitting ways just to cover the whole area. This place was massive. It was called the Hole in the Ground. I found him and told him we had to go right away. The expression on his face changed a lot when I told him what time it was. We were aware of how far the car was parked and that we had no reception on our phones if something were to happen. So quickly, we packed everything up and left. I looked at my phone and noticed that I had forgotten to pin the car on my GPS. I thought my friend was going to kill me. He shouted, "You have got to be kidding me." We obviously didn't follow a straight trail road. At that moment, all sorts of thoughts crossed my mind, but we had no choice at all. We were in the open to any wild animals to spot us, and maybe a chance of getting attacked when we had no weapons of any sort to defend ourselves. The moon was already up after walking for about an hour trying to find the vehicle. There were these very strange, high-pitched screams coming from the forest not far from where we were coming from. My friend insisted that they were actually coming from our left-hand side, and probably whatever it was pretty close to us and possibly even stalking after us. We started walking faster and faster. Those screams would not cease for the next 10 minutes, and to think that they were getting closer and closer. Quite panicked by this point, we were now being as quiet as possible as we moved along. I was still looking behind us and checking side to side to make sure nothing was following us or trying to get the drop on us, when suddenly I looked back to the front. My friend was by my side. I looked at him, and the expression on his face was like nothing I had ever seen before. I turned back to see what he was looking at, and immediately froze in fear. I thought I was going to die. At the sight of it, my heart started pounding in my chest. This thing whatever it was right in front of us was actually the creepiest thing I have ever seen in my life. It was huge, and when I say huge, I mean this thing was way bigger than a bear, with sharp, large claws, large ears like a Doberman. Its eyes were huge and pointed to the sides, and it was hairy everywhere except for its stomach and chest, but I could see no tail of any sort. We froze in place for probably only a few seconds, but it felt like forever. I whispered to my friend, "We have to run." He immediately grabbed my arm and told me, "Do not freak out and run away. Use your common sense. If we run, we will be prey." So we kept walking straight ahead. This creature was just too fast and scary. It was trying to hide behind the trees, but it was too big to do so. It was going in circles surrounding us, moving as fast as it could, looking like a crab every time it ran, as we kept walking. I felt like that was the end of everything. No one would be able to find me or know how I disappeared. After being stalked by the creature like this for a few minutes, and after nearly giving up hope, moments later, my friend illuminated something with his flashlight pointing ahead to the right. It was something shiny, very far away. Our first thought was, could it be the car? Oh, thank God. We immediately noticed it really was the car. I felt so relieved that I started running as fast as I could, just wanting to get as far away as I could from that creature that was now behind us. I realized that could have been a very dumb thing to do, but we were so close to the car I couldn't help it. As I was running, I pulled my keys out of my pocket, opened the trunk, ready to just throw everything inside. My friend was already jumping inside, and then I did too. I turned on the car and sped as much as I could to get out of there. Looking at the rearview mirror, I was actually able to see the creature's eyes staring back at us. We were both quiet for a few moments, thinking, how the hell did we make it out of this alive? How were we able to escape without even a single scratch? It's now been almost 2 months, and I can't stop thinking about it. There are so many things out there that we haven't discovered or don't even know about. I still can't explain what the hell this creature was and why it didn't make a move to hurt us or even tried. Could it be that maybe it was just not hungry? Or was not running away the moment we saw it something that helped us from being attacked? I'm not really sure. I do not have an explanation for that, but one thing I can for sure tell you is, if the creature had attacked us, it could have easily torn us apart in a matter of seconds. Be careful out there in the wilderness. You don't know what's waiting for you.